Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the primary role of a team leader. As you prepare to take a team overseas on a short-term mission trip experience, it is essential that you have these three things in mind. Number one, your number one priority is safety and security. People ask all the time, that's the number one priority? Absolutely. Above ministry, above anything else, the number one priority ought to be safety and security. I don't know about you, but I think it's really, really hard to do ministry if your team is not safe and secure. Now, we recognize there are definitely some biblical mandates and narratives that tell us about the danger of gospel work. And you know what? If it's just you and I in the jungles of South America somewhere, I want the danger. Bring it on. But when I'm a leader of a team that is filled with other people's babies, no matter what age they are, they're always someone's baby. We want to make sure that we take care of them. We want to keep them secure and safe, whether it be dangers that may appear from outside as we go through a mission trip experience, or if it be issues that arise within the team, like team dynamics, or even something like health issues or health concerns. We want to make sure that our team is safe and secure, and it is your responsibility as the leader to ensure that everything they need is taken care of. Your number one priority is to keep them safe and secure. It is impossible to be effective in ministry on a short-term trip if your team isn't safe. And in addition to that, you probably got a bunch of parents waiting for you back home, scared and nervous about their kid being overseas without them. It is your job as the leader to make sure their kids come home safe and sound. The second thing you want to seriously consider as you're planning your short-term mission trip experience is the overall experience that your team is going to have while they're overseas on the trip. You want to think about things like how will their emotional state be after certain experiences. You want to think about things like having fun. You want to think about making memories in a way that will be lasting. The overall experience is really, really important. I don't know about you, but I've been on a variety of vacations to places like Disney World. A place like Disney World, they focus tremendous amount on the experience that the people at their parks are having. The reality is there's lots of other parks that have amusement rides that are just as good, if not better, than Disney. But Disney does something magical. They do something beautiful. When you walk into a park, you experience the ambiance, the magic, the Disney magic that is. Whether it's pixie dust or just a bunch of people that are fiercely committed to customer service. Regardless of what the source is, the result is always the same. Customers and guests that have an experience that they will remember for the rest of their lives. An experience that was fun, exciting, exhilarating, and in a lot of ways reminds them of what their favorite things about life are overall. As a team leader on a short-term mission trip, I would challenge you to do the same. To really craft the experiences for your team in such a way that it really will be a memory that they'll remember for the rest of their life. And then the third thing you want to really be considering is to ensure the maximum impact of effectiveness of your team. Now, I'm not saying this is less important than number two. I'm simply saying this is one of the top three things you ought to consider. You want to make sure that your team is being effective in ministry. If your team's not being effective, well, there was really no point in you taking a short-term mission trip, right? So frequently, team leaders will lead a team but not do certain things they need to do to ensure that the team is being effective. It is your responsibility to make sure that your team is having the maximum impact that they can have in country. So over the next few minutes in this video, I'm going to give you a variety of things that you should be doing. And all of those things will point back to one of these three things: security and safety, overall experience being great, and maximum impact in ministry. The list of things that we give you over the next few minutes in this video will help you accomplish those three objectives. If you do everything we ask you to do, I promise you'll be able to fulfill those three objectives very well. And if you're able to fulfill those three objectives, it will guarantee that your team has an incredible experience on their short-term mission trip. Number three, be proactive in developing your own leadership skills. Now, this may seem a little bit vague, but it's really, really important that you work really hard to be the best leader you can be. Before I ever led my first mission trip, I was really nervous about medical issues that might arise. Particularly was concerned with the issues that might arise with my team members. So I went to a local community college and I took a medical terminology class. I just wanted to understand what was going on in the world of medicine. I wanted to understand the different names of drugs and procedures. I just wanted to have a general feeling because I knew that there was a potential that I could be taking team members to the hospital if they were to get sick overseas. Well, it's a good thing I did that because on my very first mission trip, I was in the nation of Thailand for 2 months. And one of the high school students on my team needed to get his appendix taken out in Thailand. Oh, that was a very nerve-wracking experience. But because I had been proactive in preparing myself as a team leader, I was able to be much more effective. Now, is it possible that you're going to be able to train yourself for every scenario? Of course not. There's going to be lots of things that you're not going to be ready for. There's going to be lots of things you're unsure about. That's okay. But you want to do the best you can to prepare for as many scenarios as possible. I tell people around our office all the time, we don't prepare for what's likely, we prepare for what's possible. You see, if you only prepare for the things that are likely to happen on your trip, well, you're not going to be prepared for some of the crazier, outlandish things that can happen on a short-term trip. But if you think through everything that might happen and you're prepared for everything that might be possible, well, then you'll be more than prepared for the things that are likely to occur. In fact, you'll be over-prepared. And I don't know about you, I would rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. As a leader, I would challenge you to seriously consider things that you can do to proactively develop your own leadership skills. Develop skills like public speaking, or your understanding of missions, your understanding of cross-cultural ministry, your understanding of people. I would just in general encourage you to read as many books, podcasts, YouTube videos, websites, blogs, whatever you got to do to thoroughly think through the things that you need to be prepared for and train yourself. If you're going to be a great leader, you got to be proactive in developing your own leadership skills. The next thing you want to be thinking about when you are leading your trip is being both a captain and a coach. The captain is the person who's up front, who is directing the team, the upfront leader, giving the verbal cues. That's the person we typically think about when you're being a leader. When we talk about leadership, the captain is the role that frequently comes up. We also want to make sure that you are a coach. The coach is a person that comes alongside someone, one-on-one, and helps them do the job that they're called to do. The coach is a person that comes alongside and teaches you how you fit in with the bigger picture. The captain is leading the entire team. Here, team, here's where we're going. Here's our job. Here's our mission. And you want to motivate the team, inspire the team, the rah-rah moments, right? You're the captain of the ship. You are directing where we're going. You're motivating. You're inspiring. But you're also a coach, where you come alongside people one-on-one and you help them see how they fit with the bigger picture. You see, when you tell the whole team, here's what we're doing, here's a direction, and you come alongside an individual person, you say, hey, Billy, here's your role to play in the bigger picture. Hey, Sally, here's what you ought to do. Hey, Jimmy, here's how you can get better in this area so that you can better fulfill the overarching goal. You see, you want to speak to the whole team as a captain, but you want to speak to individual team members as a coach. You want to be instructing them, encouraging them, inspiring them. Many leaders will default to one or the other. You may be thinking to yourself right now, oh, I'm definitely more of a coach. I'm not really the upfront person. Or you may be thinking to yourself, I'm really good at being the upfront person, but I'm not really good at being a coach. And so frequently, whatever we default to, we end up falling into those categories and we never cross over into the other. If you're going to be a great leader, you have to be both a great captain and a great coach. You're speaking to the whole team, inspiring, giving directions, and you're speaking to individual people, educating them, correcting them, encouraging them, mentoring them, helping them understand how they fit in with the bigger picture that you gave to the whole team as you were captaining. Frequently, whenever I'm co-leading a team with an individual, I'll typically use the lingo and say, hey, do you want to captain this moment or do you want me to captain this moment? And we'll say, okay, you captain this moment and I'll be the coach. So sometimes we'll have one leader being the captain, giving instruction, with the other one kind of coming alongside, talking to people individually, helping them better understand, helping them see how they fit in with the bigger picture. Again, the captain gives the bigger picture to everyone. The coach helps individual people get better so they can fit in with the bigger picture. A team needs both a captain and a coach. If they only have one or the other, the team will be suffering, and you will not be able to fulfill the three primary objectives of a short-term mission trip leader. The next thing you want to be doing as you are preparing for your mission trip experience is you want to make sure that your people are well trained and ready to share the gospel. This is really, really important. We want to make sure that you train them on how to share their faith. You want to make sure you train them on cultural do's and don'ts and how to share the gospel and contextualize it for the people you're going to. You want to make sure that your people are prepared to share their own personal testimony and share their own personal stories. If your people are not ready to share the gospel, not only will you not maximize ministry, but you also won't be having a very great experience. It is your responsibility as the team leader to ensure that your people are thoroughly prepared, that they understand the religion of the people they're going to, and they know how to share the gospel with that religion. If you're headed to a nation that is predominantly Catholic and people that believe, let's say, in a works-based salvation, well, you got to know what the objections are from the people that are going to be there. Or let's say you're going to be in a Muslim context. You got to understand what a Muslim person is going to say and how they're going to object to the gospel. Prepare your people to handle those objections well. If someone gets to the mission field and the first time they've heard that objection is from the person they're ministering to, well, as a leader, you probably haven't done your job all that well. You want to make sure they are gospel fluent, that they know how to share the components of the gospel and the narrative of the gospel in such a way that they are comfortable doing it, that they know what scripture verses to use to back up their beliefs, that they have metaphors and illustrations to use. You want your people to be effective in sharing the gospel and sharing their own personal story to ensure that your team maximizes their ministry experience while they're on their trip.